On the last video, we created the blend space so that we can set up our own animations. And in this case, my character came in with animations. In your case, you could have animations for your own character, or you could also retarget animations from the Fab store through the Unreal Engine launcher. So now that we have our blend space, we are going to create the animation blueprint. And to do that, we're going to right click, go to animation, and then select animation blueprint. Now it's going to ask me which skeleton to use, and I'm going to use the skeleton for my main character. I'm going to call this anim VP online main. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it. Now that I have it opened and docked, I'm going to save all just in case Unreal Engine decides to crash. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set a new state. A new state machine, and we're going to call this animations. Now, within the animations, we are going to start with our blend space, and that's going to be the one that we just created, which is the blend space online main. Oh, before we do that, of course, we need to do this, add the state, and then this is going to be the idle walk run. So this is our first one, and now I can add the blend space that we created. Okay, you notice how we have the speed here. So for that, we are going to need to add our speed variable, and if we don't have it, then we're going to go ahead and create it here, and we're going to call it speed and make it a float type. Compile, save. We're going to use that here. Okay, now that we have this, we go back to animations. Now this title is bothering me, so I'm gonna get rid of that uppercase U. Okay, now I have this, and if you notice, now my character, it's in the idle position. Now what I need to do is I need to include the 3 animations that I need for my jumping. So my blend space takes care of the walking, running, and idle, but now I needed to make sure that it jumps. Okay, so what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the jump in cut. That's the one I want to use for this one. The next one, I'm going to use the fall. That's when it's falling from the jump. And the last one I'm going to use is called jump out in my case. Now that I have them all here, I have to connect them. And within the connections, I need to create a transition rule. So I'm going to first connect them in a kind of circle kind of way, going this way. And I'm going to start with the transitions. I'm going to tell, when a transition should happen. So let's start with the first one. And in this one, we're going to need to create a variable, a Boolean variable, and we're going to call it is in air with a question mark. Now with this, it has to be a Boolean, and I'm going to compile and save just in case. There's going to be some errors, but it's okay for now. I'm going to grab this, set it here. So this is my very first one, first transition. Okay, so I got this transition. I'm going to go back to animations. I'm going to take a look at the second transition. For the second transition, I'm going to use something slightly different. I'm going to look for the time remaining ratio jumping cut. So it's going to wait a little bit to play this next animation, and we're gonna set it up at less than, and for this one let's just do 0.1 seconds. I'm gonna attach this to my can enter transition. I'm gonna save. Now I'll go back to animations, and I'm gonna do the third one. For the third one, it's gonna be similar to the first one. On the third one, we are going to use is in air. We're gonna get it, and then we're gonna use a not Boolean, kind of just double negative kind of thing, and that gives us the opposite of the is in air. Now I'm gonna save that again, go back to animations. Now I'm going to click on the last transition, and for the last transition I'm gonna use something similar to the second one that we did. So I'm gonna look for the time remaining ratio animation jump out, and then this one is a little bit longer, so I'm gonna use a less than, and I'm gonna set it at 0.9 seconds and connect it here. Now I'm gonna compile and save, and notice that there are no problems with compiling, but this is not it. We need to make sure that we set up the logic in the blueprint so that it recognizes the inputs and all that stuff. So we're gonna go to the event graph, for the animation. If you cannot find it up here, it's going to be right here. So go to the event graph, and now we're gonna use those. And so first of all, we're gonna find out if, you know, our character is the one. So we're gonna set up an is valid with the question mark. From the is valid, we are going to connect the try get pan owner. Okay. Now from here, we wanna get the movement. So get movement component. From the movement component, we wanna get is falling. Is falling, that would be for movement. Okay, something is going on here. Okay, let's do it again. So here, okay, so from the get movement component, we're going to, from the return value, we're gonna find is falling navigation movement. That's the one we need. Yes, not the second one. And now from here, from the is valid, once it's valid, we are going to set, that is in air. And we can just find it here at the bottom. We can always drag it from here to here. Now this, my return value, is going to go right there. Okay. Now, after that, we need to get the velocity from here. So we're gonna pull this out all the way here. I'm not gonna get the velocity. Now the velocity would be with the that would be just get velocity. Okay, oops. Okay, so let's do it again. So get velocity, and that would be the nav movement. Oh nope, not that one, it's the other one. So let's do it closer here. So get velocity, which be this one. Nice. Now from the get velocity, we're gonna add a vector length. Now we have the vector length, and from here we are going to go ahead and set up the speed. So the speed, we have it right here. We set it up. That will be our speed, and we'll connect the set to the next set. Okay, now we compile, save, and we test it. Press play. It's working. Oh, we can't test it because we have to go to the third person character, and we have to make sure that we include or tell that we want to use our brand new blueprint. So our blueprint is the one that is called online. I'm going to compile, save, and now notice how the pose has changed. So now I'm going to go back to the main level. I'm going to press play. Here it is. Now it's walking, it's running, grabbing the weapon. Now let's jump. Oh, there we go. Nice. So now we get our character to use its own animations, which look a lot better. And the jumping, it's working perfectly. Thank you for watching.